This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back, legally, on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at ChooseTheRightChapter.com. That's ChooseTheRightChapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Well, if you're people like Steve, Danny, you're going to love this story about former TV news reporter Kayla Sullivan. She shared a video to TikTok of herself standing outside of her 2-year-old son's bedroom. And we have this video on the BJ Miggs page of KISW.com. And why is she sharing this? She's using a rattle as a microphone and reporting, like she's a reporter.
Dude, I'm looking at a picture of her and she's fully dressed in like what you would assume, like, like the newscaster outfit.
Totally.
Like that, that certain look, like the bright blue or whatever. And her hair is all done. Like she looks straight up like she's doing a live report. If you didn't say it was a rattle in her hand, I quickly thought that was a microphone.
Oh, for sure.
It's pretty awesome. A very, very colorful rattle microphone. And she's basically doing this, faux report on his recent temper tantrum at a restaurant. And I love how she's covering it like a news story. This, by the way, has been seen 14 million times. But, it's pretty clever.
Kayla Sullivan reporting live from outside my son's bedroom where he's currently being detained until nap time is over. What I can confirm is my son is a 2-year-old terrorist who held me hostage at the Olive Garden earlier today. It's important to note the friends I met there do not have children and likely never will after witnessing this situation firsthand.
That's fantastic.
She is hilarious. I love when I see a lot of newscasters do the newscaster voice and some kind of videos where they're at home and they're just doing a play-by-play just to annoy their wife or husband.
Yeah.
These are the best.
Yeah, that's I can see why that's got a lot of views. That was well done. And again, what a great touch using the rattle as a microphone, talking about her 2-year-old who just lost it at the OG. In this report, Kayla talks about how she thought she was prepared for lunch with her son.
This is an active investigation, but authorities believe the proper precautions were taken. I brought my son's favorite snacks and even risked judgment from other moms by bringing an iPad. After several cries demanding, quote, ketchup, ketchup! A Good Samaritan waitress miraculously understood it as the English word ketchup and brought him a bottle. Unfortunately, her good deed was later punished after he threw a ketchup-covered fork at her.
Nice.
Wow. This
so
kid,
relate to all of this right now.
Wow. This is, I just love this because, I get it.
Dude, we were at Panera the other day, and it was about a month ago, and Tatum was having a fit because she didn't have a straw in her cup, so I get a straw and put it in her cup, and then she holds the thing, and even my wife's like, don't let her hold the cup. I'm like, why? She got the straw in the cup. She's good now. She just throws it on the ground, and water flies everywhere in the Panera, hitting people with water, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's funny because it's not my kid what she's talking right now.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah. When you think, I think we can go to the restaurants, we can do this. And then, that magical age of 2 years old, man. It's just a wonderful time. Now, Kayla, of course, she's a good reporter, so of course she's got to try to, interview the perpetrator of all these events. So she did try to talk to her son about this incident, do an interview, and in this particular interview, and I love it, she used a ketchup bottle as a microphone.
Oh, she's trolling.
Kayla Sullivan here. I have an exclusive sit-down interview with the alleged Olive Garden 2-year-old terrorist. What do you have to say for yourself? Are you sorry? Sorry! There you have it. I'm sorry.
It's awesome.
More importantly, why are they using ketchup at Olive Garden?
For the pasta, of course.
Oh.
It's the 2-year-old asking for it.
But still, what do you...
They probably have a kids menu that has French fries and a hamburger like most places.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's family.
Come on, Danny, take it easy
When you're
over
there, your family. They got to treat the kids like family, too.
I just would never think to ask...
You have to have emergency ketchup all the time. I applaud any restaurant who has Danny, I don't know maybe you got lucky, but I am telling you, I remember taking Joey and Sarah any place. We used to have to negotiate with the restaurant. Do you mind if we bring in fast food? Because we wanted to have regular food, and if we wanted to go to an Indian restaurant or something, and we said, look, my kids are not going to eat what you have in here, but we want to have dinner. They're with us. We brought some fast food just so to keep them quiet, but we're going to order for ourselves. Is that okay? I mean, some restaurants were like, what the F is wrong with you? I go, dude, do you want your customers to have a nice experience? We know how to placate these beasts.
Dude, what I've realized that now having a kid is like the way you perceive things without a kid as opposed to the way you perceive things now being a parent is night and day. Because I used to be, I'm sure the person you talked to that maybe thought it was weird never had a kid. So they don't have any idea of why you're doing what you're doing.
Clue.
But if you talk to a manager that had a kid, they'd be like, yeah, dude, no problem. What else? What else do you need? We'll help you just to keep this. Because that's happened. Like we've been at a coffee shop and there was a kid on the ground just screaming bloody murder. Before a kid, I used to think, come on, parents, get control of your child right now. Now I see it. I'm just like, yeah, I feel you. I know exactly what you're going through, and just let it get it out.
Sometimes kids just scream.
Right.
Like there's nothing you can do about that.
And I'm looking at the dad, and I'm just like, yeah, I wouldn't do anything either. You're probably just going to piss him off more. So just zone it out and be happy it's not.
Yeah, a kidless person just assumes that logic is going to work and reason is going to work, and they try that. I mean, like you did and I did, I'm sure, Danny, you try reason at the beginning of any, with you go, you know what, it'll be different with my kid because I'm just going to lay down the law and they're going to understand. And then you go, wow, you are not responding to anything, and then you realize, oh, and you really know how to make an irritating noise forever. Okay, I get it. I'm not going to win this with reason.
Well, it's like, I remember you'd be like, I'm never going to let my kid look at a tablet at a restaurant. That seems like my bad parenting. Now as a parent, like I'm just like, you hit that threshold where you're like, well, I can't do this to everyone else in the restaurant. Like, and we're in the middle of our meals. We can't just get up and leave. It's like, where the hell is Coco Melon? Let me pull it up on my phone and just like, there, stop. Yeah. Just stop. Watch Coco Melon. Wheels on the bus. Do your hand thing. Shut the hell up so everybody can enjoy their meal. Please stop.
Oh, so true. Dude, I remember Kathy was like, what, and all of our relatives, I went out and I bought a giant television and hooked it up to a VCR. I did this whole Jerry Riggin thing because we always would take trips back to Boston from Rochester, New York, and it was a 7-hour drive. And I got the plug-in adapter, and everybody said, what is wrong with you? You got this big TV set up for your kids? I go, you don't understand. It's 7 hours. I am going to make it so that, and of course now you have the ease of tablets, but I knew back then, all those years ago, I need to monopolize them, and I knew it was a TV show that would do it. And I went and got all the Rugrats tapes and everything, and I had the setup. It was nuts. And people were like, and I remember a couple of dads came out, and they just looked at me and they said, dude, this is the most brilliant thing ever, because they knew it was like you just had how many hours of peace driving? Oh, imagine being in a car without a tablet these days, where you have nothing to entertain these kids.
When a couple years ago, my cousin moved for the military over to Georgia, and she has 3 little girls. And she purposely bought a car that has one of those little TV screens and a DVD player in the big SUV. And all we'd hear in the back, and then we just slap our hand back. Okay, hit play again. and I watched that damn Ferdinand movie. Well, heard the damn Ferdinand movie 1,000 times over the course of however many miles it was from Washington to Georgia. But thank God we had it. I would have probably never spoken to my cousin again. It's like, nope. That was it. Bye.
Headphones are the next best thing. You teach your kid to wear headphones. Then you don't even have to listen to that.
I mean, I know exactly how many times I need to listen to the wheels on the bus go round and round to get from Puyallup to Tacoma. 17. 17?
It's a short song.
Yeah, it's like 2 minutes, and it was traffic.
And honestly, man, you haven't found the songs. I don't know if they do it anymore. The songs they make with the kids naming them. And they used to sell them. They had a whole rack of just cassettes that you could buy. And there was like Joseph and Jimmy and Jackie and Johnny. And of course, we were like,
I've got Steven in my car right now. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I knew you'd love yours.
Yeah, that's how I start every morning, BJ.
Joey was just like, my song? And I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, here's a song about Joseph. I can remember.
He still listens to it every morning.
Yeah, it's weird.
I walk in there.
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God. And I was like, why did I think this was a good idea? And, and of course this kid's like, they made a song about me. I'm the best kid in the world.
Dude, I started thinking about how sad, that musician at some point hoped that they were going to become a rock star.
Oh yeah.
And then realized that's not happening. And they just found a way to make some extra cash and it's doing that.
Yeah. I don't know though. There's a lot of those artists make a lot of money off kids' stuff. So at that point,
right? But I don't think that was ever their goal.
Of course,
right?
Of course not.
No, you're right. It's like they had no idea that their dreams being dashed would lead them to a pretty profitable career.
See, I've always been on the tablet/computer route for Lily because I was like, when I was a kid, my mom used to throw crayons and color books in front of me, and to me, it was the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to be either distracted by this or distracted by she's going to be distracted by a tablet. The problem is that I didn't think we just recently flew across country, and I didn't realize that some airlines don't have plugs on the plane, so I didn't charge my computer before a 4-hour flight.
Oh boy.
Then it's like you're watching that bomb ticking timer go.
Oh my
you're like,
gosh.
I'm at 4%.
I was turning the dimmer down. We only got through an hour of a movie and we still had 3 hours to go. And she was like, Dad, what do I do now? And I I I don't know.
I would say sit here. You cry uncontrollably as Dad says, "Does anybody have a charger?" I would give you my charger.
Well, luckily, she's an angel, and she fell asleep for the next 3 hours.
Okay, well that's a solid second option.
You know that so you really gave her that Benadryl cocktail. It kicked in, huh?
No.
I just found a whole website, by the way, that does personalized children music CDs. And you just give them the name, and they will have 10 tracks of personalized songs and 10 tracks of personalized dialogue.
I don't have a CD player in my car in the first place.
Well, you can just put it on your computer.
Do they do digital? It's 2022.
Well, it's
they really should give you some kind of. They really should give you a flash drive or something.
Right.
Flash drive, just email me a file. Make a Dropbox link. Save us all some money.
I'm just excited because you can do one with Spider-Man and you. I want to do Spider-Man talking to me.
Okay, you know what? So what, are you going to get one for yourself, you mean?
I kind of want to get one for Sarah because they have Barney.
Okay. No, you're not getting that. Don't bring me back.
What's the Spider-Man? Hey, Spider-Man. What's up, Vicky? Here, catch this web.
That's it. Hey, that's it. Look at you, man. You've written a song.
No? That's not how it works?
You also get to hang out with Wolverine and the Fantastic Four.
Man, these are life goals.
Kind of.
How is that? Is that a licensed product, or is somebody just going to get sued by Marvel soon?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I feel like someone's going to get a lawsuit.
It's presented by Kids Jukebox.
Yeah, I feel like
that almost sounded like your newscaster voice right there.
A little bit.
All right. It looks legit. It looks like they got all the Marvel stuff. We have to see if they got the proper TMs in there and stuff.
I got me thinking about the newscaster voice thing. We're talking about newscasters and stuff. Have you seen there's a anchor or a news reporter on Q13 or 13, whatever the hell it's called.
Fox 13, Fox please, 13. Come on, get it right.
I'm so sorry. And I love what she's doing. She's like putting on blast or retweeting or sharing anytime she's getting like negative comments from viewers. And some of the stuff there are some people that are just miserable. Like some lady went off on her because she didn't like the earrings that she was wearing on the newscast because they were too distracting. And bitched at her on Twitter. Another person was bitching at her because she makes fun of her coworkers because they all are having fun on the news set, and she's like, "Yeah, it's not very becoming of you to make fun of your coworkers." And it's just what's her name is China Green, and she's cracking me up.
Is she new? Is she relatively new on the
I think she's from Vegas because I know she talks a lot about Vegas and becoming like a Kraken fan now or doing all things along those lines. But she even now, every once in a while, she'll post like, I'm here to do news. And she's wearing those earrings that pissed off, I think the lady's name was like Rachel or something like that. And it's just hilarious.
Yeah, you got to wonder what's going on in the world of a person that will really complain about somebody for how they look, in any way, shape, or form. You just got to wonder.
Right. Like, of all things, like, you're like, this is really bothering you that much that you need to send a message to this person and tell them, hey, stop wearing those earrings during your newscast.
China Green, by the way, is a great name.
China Green.
That is an awesome name. To me, that sounds like a superhero name.
I was thinking like an FBI agent. Like,
yeah, that works too.
The case. Who should we? Yeah. We should call China Green. And I
love in the picture she's wearing green, so she's like, you know what? She's owning all of this. Love that. All right, well, welcome to, I don't know how long you've been here in Seattle, but welcome, China Green. We've always had a great relation with the good folks over at Fox 13. They've been good to us over the years. I was just thinking, Steve, man, because we talked about earlier how it was the 20th anniversary, and I remember we did a Fox 13 promotion with 24, and Jack Bauer, we got to do that one time, and we got to go in and do commercials and everything, and that was 20 years ago, man.
Was that when we had a contest that listeners made a commercial for the show?
I think you may be right.
I can't remember. It was around that time when we were doing some fun stuff with now Fox 13, but Q13 at the time. I could say it that way. Yeah. And we had people just making like all these ridiculous commercials promoting our show, and the winner got their commercial aired on 13.
That was a lot of fun.
On 13.
Fox 13. Fox 13. It's not that difficult.
You're right. It's not difficult, BJ. I just can't get out of my head Q13.
Well, I will tell you this, man, that, the older you get, that means that's the more time you spend on the planet knowing that, that's the way you refer to one thing. And then when they change it, it is hard. And you feel like an idiot. You go, I'm really trying, but I've known you as this for so long. Give me a break. I will figure it out. I got no problem with you changing to Fox 13. It's just I've known you as Q13 for so long, and my old brain is just keeps forgetting that you're not Q13.
It's like by next year, I feel like I'll have it. It's like back in the check writing days. It took at least until May before I stopped putting the wrong year on things.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's always hard when somebody rebrands. It really, really is always hard when you've known it for so long. So there you go. But you know what? Fox 13, I feel good on. That one I'm getting right pretty good. I'm doing a pretty good job with that one. Yeah. So, big news. Look at me. Look at me. Hey, you know what? At my age, that's a victory. Believe me, I'm taking all the victories I can get. Speaking of earrings, man, this is a hell of a story. Some guy got his wife 2 sets of identical earrings for Christmas, but there was a big difference. One had real diamonds. The other set had fake ones, and she had to choose which ones she wanted because those are the ones he'd let her have.
Awesome.
Which did she pick? Oh, you're going to hear from her at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
New on Curiosity Stream. Are we close to building machines that are almost human? And can new technology give us superpowers? Find out on Super Sapiens. And in 1919, a British composer wrote the longest and most complex symphony in history. Conductors tried to perform it, but failed, declaring it cursed. Now a group of musicians will attempt the impossible, if they dare, on Curse of a Gothic Symphony. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 1 in every 5 children killed in traffic crashes in the U.S. was a pedestrian. That's why 3M is working alongside local governments and NGOs to help improve crosswalk visibility and traffic markings in school zones, in a worldwide initiative to provide kids with a safe walk to school and access to the education they deserve. To learn more and take action, visit 3m.com/schoolzonesafety. 3M Science. Applied to life.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. This is actually, I think this is, in a way, kind of fun. Some guy got his wife 2 sets of identical earrings for Christmas, but there was a huge difference. One set actually had real diamonds. The other one had fake ones, and she had to choose which one she wanted, and he said whatever she chose, he'd return the other ones. So this, I mean, really, you know, there are people that can tell stuff like that apart. I can't. Really wouldn't know, you know, a diamond from cubic zirconium. I wouldn't know.
Dude, honestly, like, I've been to some jewelry stores and they have like the little display of the cubic zirconia. I'm like, those look way more flashy and like that. But I'm not a jewelry freak, so I mean, I wouldn't be able to spot it. But I'm like, they actually look cooler than the ones that are thousands of dollars more than them.
Yeah, which I thought isn't that what it's all about? But apparently, no. You know, so she had to make the choice. Here's how that went down.
So one of those are real, and one of them are not. Pick one, the other one goes back.
Oh my gosh.
So which ones do you think are real? And we'll send the other one back.
Wow. And how about this? Steve, like you, she thought the fake ones were the better looking ones, and she chose them.
Awesome. Now, I wonder if he actually did return it. You know, or was it just like, yeah, babe, I'm just playing. Because, I mean, the cubic zirconia ones probably cost only a few bucks.
That's true.
So it's a fun little prank.
I'll tell you, man, I mean, my wife is one of those people where she's just like, whatever one looks better, she doesn't care the price. I mean, it's like, if it looks cool and she likes it, and a lot of times, yeah, I've looked at some cubic zirconiums like, man, they look awesome. And I have been underwhelmed by the look of a diamond. I'm just like, you know, or you ever go to the Swarovski? I think it's called a Swarovski, the glass shop.
Yep. Yeah, those are awesome.
They have. I mean, a lot of their stuff also can be a little pricey, but still, I mean, not as pricey as diamonds.
That's the thing. I mean, I remember, I'm the product of a kid that I grew up watching, like, those stupid home shopping network channels. I don't know if you guys ever did that, but when I was growing up, like, that was like appointment viewing, like, on the overnights. I'm like sitting there watching what, QVC?
QVC,
yeah. And then the other one, just the home shopping network. And they were always trying to sell jewelry and they were like, look at this flashy diamond necklace. It's cubic zirconia. And I thought that was like a form of diamond. Like, I was like, wow. And it's not that expensive. Not realizing later on that would just be like a complete argument with somebody if they were expecting real diamonds.
But you can't be blamed. They shouldn't have called them diamonds in the first place, but they were able to get you. They were able because hopefully this guy's too stupid to know that this is not a form of diamond.
Well, I was too stupid to know, but fortunately for my parents, I was also not old enough to have a credit card. I would have been so broke if I had a credit card.
Oh, for sure.
I would have bought so many things.
All the made for TV stuff.
A lot of texters are saying this is genius, what the guy did.
Yeah, but see, we pay for status, though, dude. I mean, that's the problem because
God forbid someone found out they weren't real, she would be like kicked out of her book club or something.
If you want drama, if you go on TikTok, this guy has a diamond testing machine, and he'll go around asking people, "Can I test your engagement ring?"
Oh God!
And when they find out their ring is fake,
why would you do that?
Like, he asked, like, hey, anybody?
I watch Chaos, Steve.
Yeah, I guess that. Captain Chaos.
I've also seen a kid do it at school.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah. Well, this person, I think, owns or runs a jewelry store, so it's brilliant on his part. But I've seen teenagers do that to their teachers, and the drama. Oh.
Wow. I never realized that people would pull that off, that they would actually tell you this is a real diamond. And
I bet that happens all the time.
I would never think of doing that. I even if I had to get her a small little piddly thing, which I really, luckily for me, my wife knew that I was poor and her whole family did. So they basically we redid the grandmother's ring so that I didn't have to get an engagement ring. We just basically you paid to have it redone, which is a lot cheaper than having to get a ring. But I don't think I'd ever I don't think I'd fakey somebody.
See, that's why it's so dumb how people get all worried. Like someone would judge you because you had like a fake diamond, no different than like someone would like look at that Seahawks jersey. That's not a legit jersey, or maybe a Kraken jersey.
Wait.
Who cares?
No. Hold on.
If you want to wear something,
no. Hold on a second.
Look at those fake Yeezys.
Totally the same.
Hold on a second.
What?
Now look.
Who are we to judge?
Well, it's not that we're judging. It's just that if you got a fake Seahawk jersey, it was illegitimately made in a country where they don't care about laws and trademarks. That's different, as opposed to
getting a jersey that was legitimately made in that same country, the same group of people.
Well, as long as the right people are getting paid. But I see what you're saying, Steve. And here's what I think a better way to say it is if you got the silk screen jersey, you didn't get the upper tier,
the replica as opposed to the authentic.
That's
I remember
where,
somebody judging somebody for wanting to get.
I don't know who that person could be, but boy, that person's not a good person.
Yeah,
hey, Shane, I know what you're talking about, Shane.
So, Steve, do you think if you presented your wife with this challenge, if she would be able to figure out the real diamonds?
That's a great question. I don't think she would be able to tell.
I don't think so either. I don't know.
I mean, she loves, like most girls seem to love diamonds. Like, she loves, like, her ring and all that stuff. But I think if I handed her a wedding ring that had a cubic zirconia in it, I don't think she would be able to tell the difference because she's not like an obsessive jewelry freak. Like when it comes to that certain glare is more of a bluish tint, therefore it's not real. Or I don't know. I don't know how you figure this crap out.
I don't know.
Yeah, when I proposed to her, she did grab the ring and try and cut glass with it immediately.
She needs to know the kind of man she's dealing with.
Right, and because it was able to, she was just like, okay, I can marry you.
She didn't do the old thing like they used to do? She didn't bite into it? Because I thought that's what you do to find out that anything's real. You bite into it.
I thought that was just gold.
Yeah, that's with gold.
Oh, well, that's why I break my teeth a lot.
BJ.
That's why my dentist sees me a lot. I didn't know it was just gold you bite into. Yeah.
Do you think Linda would be able to tell the difference?
Not at all.
No.
And at that point, I think that she would probably actually prefer the cheaper route on that point.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not sure because we've had the whole thing. We've had the whole discussion of the real quote unquote diamonds versus the fake diamonds, ones that are made in a lab. And she's like, no, get me lab all day long.
So a lab diamond, are those cubic zirconia, or is that like something even different?
No, those are totally different.
The real diamonds, they just make them they haven't been formed in the earth, and they figured out like the pressure and everything to make diamonds. But then, like a lot of jewelry companies, they're trying to be like, hey, no, real diamonds, natural diamonds.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Also, it's like boobs versus implants or something like that.
Yeah, but you can't. If you give them to people,
it's an odd comparison, but coming from you, we're going to go with that analogy.
But yeah, you can't even tell the difference in like makeup between the two. Because
what's the difference in price though? Like, let's just say like
a few thousand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Diamond.
Yeah. Which is so funny because it's the same process. I mean, they're basically taking the same materials, turning it into a diamond like the Earth would over X amount of years, and yet. The X amount of years supposedly costs more because that's how we humans are. I mean, dude, I used to talk with Gary, the Hyundai guy, so much about the Genesis model and how it had every amenity that all the high-end cars had, but because it didn't have the logo of the famous cars, people didn't want them, even though it had everything in it and even better than some of those other cars had. But it's like, I'm not driving a Genesis. Nobody knows what that is, even though you are in the lap of luxury in those cars.
It's a status
and
thing.
Much cheaper.
Bragging rights.
Yeah,
Ricky showed me on the website, they said the real versus fake, but you know what I mean? Like the ones that made lab grown diamonds are about 50 to 70% less than the natural diamonds.
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
You can get a much bigger diamond for the same price as you would pay for a natural small one.
Baby, I upgraded. It's like this giant rock. How could you afford that? In the lab.
In the lab, baby. But see, I mean, that's why they're, and the pressure's always on me because I, every once in a while, think this is like my wife is having a big birthday coming up, and I really feel like this is probably warranting a nice piece of jewelry.
Get her a lab diamond.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that, Steve, if it looks like I paid too much, she doesn't like it. And Sarah's kind of the same way. They do not like to go into these stores that are the high-end stores. They don't want to do it. It's like you are a bad guy. So
then if you get the lab diamond and tell her it's a lab diamond, it's 70% less than the actual real diamond.
Yeah, but zirconium is still cheaper.
Oh, so then
lab diamond is still
get
is
one
still,
of these rubber
you know,
band rings that I wear. At that point.
Exactly, that's the way it is. But I feel badly because I just feel I hear the commercials and all of the people over the years, and you just get in your head like, well,
they
is this
brainwashed us, man.
Yeah, I mean, is this the year I'm supposed to go big? And I mean, here's what I got her. She loves puzzles, so I initially got her. Hope she's not listening. I initially got her like a puzzle holder for her birthday. But I mean, that thing was like, it didn't cost anything. It's like a portable puzzle holder, so you can take your puzzles and bring them anywhere. That way you can store them. You don't have to leave them on a table, and they're pretty cool.
Then can you just get her like a baggie or something like that?
No, so when you make a puzzle, Steve, and it's half
to roll
done.
it up?
Yeah, well, this one's even better than the roll-ups, Vicky. Yeah, Steve, Steve, you know how long you'd be building a puzzle if every time you were halfway done, you just throw it in a bag? I mean, you'd have to rebuild it again.
Well, how do you roll up a puzzle and then all want to fall
with
apart?
With a puzzle holder.
They have a technology. It's like this one's even better though. You don't have to roll it up. You can carry it sideways, but it has a stick surface, like a cool surface that have all the pieces stick together, and you close it, and the friction keeps it from moving. And
Is she that obsessed with puzzles? She needs to travel with the puzzle.
Well, it's more like you got to get it out of the way because you don't want to keep it on the table.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So you store it under a couch or whatever. That's why I'm getting it. She uses a big piece of cardboard right now, and it's kind of, it's not the way to go.
You can get her a custom puzzle of you guys, like a picture of you guys.
Aww. Okay, again, that's not a puzzle holder, but thank you.
No, I'm saying like an additional gift for her birthday.
Right, here's the puzzle holder and a puzzle.
Right. The point is that these are not the gifts you get for somebody for a momentous birthday.
Get a puzzle of a diamond. Ooh. Do it, put it in the puzzle holder, and present it to her, and when she opens it, there's a diamond.
Yeah.
No?
You're the one that said she gets mad at you.
The silence is just like, you just don't appreciate creativity.
You know what? I mean,
he's going to complain that he can't find the right present.
No,
we give him ideas, and he's no.
I am not complaining. I want you guys all to watch the video. It's not about the nail, because I didn't ask any of you geniuses for a solution. I merely was sharing the problem of having this situation where you got somebody who doesn't want you to buy them jewelry, and you got big occasions coming up. I never asked any of you morons to give me an answer. I have already bought the stuff. I'm just telling you.
Don't bitch to us.
I'm not bitching. What, I can't. I'm sharing my feelings.
It sounded like you were bitching.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Tell your wife that next time she shares her feelings. Say, honey, it sounds like you're bitching. Really? Oh, do you?
The book about the nail, babe. What do you want from me?
All right. I would love to hear that conversation telling your wife she's bitching. I feel like Tatum and her would throw you out of the house.
I tell us, I'm like, babe, this is a bitching meal. I say bitching her all the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Here's a book about a nail.
No, it's a video. It's a
YouTube
video. It's not about the nail.
How long is this video?
It's not long. I've recommended it. It's got a skillion views because it's really quite funny. And usually, I mean, Vicky, of course, is not your typical chick, but usually it's the dudes that you want to have watch this video so they don't try to solve any problems that their spouses have, but just listen. So, but Vicky, you should watch it too. Thank you. There you go. Anyway, in other news, hey, how about this? Steve yesterday got this one wrong.
What two states share a border with Florida?
We'll go with Wyoming and Virginia.
No.
Close.
Arkansas and Alabama.
No.
Texas and Washington.
No.
Unbelievable. I really felt like Texas and Washington should have got you the win. It should have got you something.
So close.
Yeah, it really should have got you something.
It's on how you look at the map, really.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I mean, a lot of us that have ever spent time in Florida know Georgia is north, but you kind of forget that because of the panhandle, you got Alabama also on the border. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 8:47 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I know if bankruptcy is going to provide me with relief? What are the steps for my situation?
There's so much information out there about bankruptcy with the internet and what people have heard from friends and other people that they've talked to about their financial issues or bankruptcy. There's also a lot of bad information out there or urban legends about bankruptcy. In order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you need to talk to an attorney that's experienced in bankruptcy. So in order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you should talk to an experienced bankruptcy attorney. And my job is not to convince you to file bankruptcy. My job is to help you to make that decision and have all the facts so that you can make an informed decision about whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, what benefits it's going to have for you, and what the downside of filing bankruptcy is.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 1 in every 5 children killed in traffic crashes in the U.S. was a pedestrian. That's why 3M is working alongside local governments and NGOs to help improve crosswalk visibility and traffic markings in school zones, in a worldwide initiative to provide kids with a safe walk to school and access to the education they deserve. To learn more and take action, visit 3m.com/schoolzonesafety.
3M Science. Applied to life.
Wenatchee is gorgeous in the spring with its lush green rolling hills, abundant wildflowers everywhere, and the views of the Columbia River. The local food scene offers an abundant selection of authentic international cuisines featuring the unique farm-fresh ingredients of the region. Wenatchee is also home to award-winning wines, handcrafted hard ciders, and a talented handful of local brewers producing fine craft beers. Visit Wenatchee, the heart of Washington State.